Hi, and thank you for your interest in signing up to be an adult coach for one of our HEFY summer expeditions. Before you commit yourself and register for 2 weeks with 20 youth, you may have a couple of questions about what it's like to be an adult coach, how to prepare, and how to get the most out of your HEFY expedition. We've asked some of our past adult coaches to share with you what their experience was like.
The trip made me more aware of actually how amazing the teenagers and youth of our day are. That probably was the biggest eye-opening thing for me, is how amazing these kids are that were on the trip with us.
You have this tremendous opportunity to serve people every day. It was just a fantastic experience.
I took away a deeper understanding and a deeper appreciation for what's truly important in life and what really will enable us to find true happiness.
Physically and mentally, be prepared to work, because it's not a vacation, it is a work trip.
We were mixing concrete all day and moving cinder blocks and bending rebar and digging holes and moving wheelbarrows around. I mean, it was hard work.
The good thing about the expeditions is that you absolutely get an experience that you'll remember forever, because you don't have any time to relax. That's not what this is about.
A lot of work. We went to church, we did service projects, did family home evenings with different members of the wards. I was with the youth pretty much 24/7. I usually had about 5 minutes to myself, but only in the morning when I was showering in cold water.
During the expedition, the leaders and the adult leaders are with the youth all the time. If you're awake, you're spending time with the youth. We actually room with the youth, we have devotionals with the youth, and it really is a fantastic time because the whole trip is really about the youth.
You know, you're not going to sit out on the hike or sit out on the games. You're getting dragged right into the middle of everything that the kids are doing.
Did I have a lot of time to relax? No. You were going all day long, every day. So up early in the morning, and usually the last one to go to bed after you knew all the youth were down.
Lodging during the expedition was not glamorous.
We shared a room. In fact, I had 9 of the boys. They slept in the same room that I did.
So lodging during the trip was definitely better than I expected, but yet maybe worse than I have ever been kind of accustomed to as far as traveling. But it was definitely clean. The facilities were such that boys were separated from girls. We had showers, we had clean sheets.
I loved it. It was very quaint. We don't really have a lot of time to relax anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. You're pretty much going from 7:30 in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night. Our trip leaders to Bolivia were awesome. They knew the language, and so I was very confident in their abilities to communicate with the locals, since I knew absolutely no Spanish. I really had no problem following their lead because they had been trained and they knew what was going to be happening.
It was a little bit difficult for me at first to work with somebody that was younger than I was, candidly, but we really had a great relationship, and I realized that I was there to support them.
On the Fiji expedition, we had 2 trip leaders. They were young, they were full of energy, and had an ability to really connect incredibly well with the youth. I think it was important to have them at an age where the gap was not that far at all from the youth themselves. They really could relate well, and they really created a lot of fun, a lot of situations that helped the group overall bond.
I had full confidence in their abilities. They would focus on the movement of the groups and what activities we were going to be doing, and it allowed me to spend my time focusing on the youth, making sure they kept on task, making sure that they kept together, and that's pretty much what my role was to kind of coach the youth and to be there as a support for the trip leaders.
Some of my responsibilities as an adult leader were to just kind of be there for the kids. I also helped at the work site. I made sure that the kids had something to do, and if they didn't have something to do, I'd give them my job.
I was asked to oversee the devotionals and make assignments for the youth every night.
One of my responsibilities was being in charge of making sure everyone stayed hydrated.
At the work site, my role was to make sure that people were safe, but to work hard and to motivate the youth when the day was dragging on a little bit.
We had a lot of tools and equipment around, needed to make sure that kids didn't get distracted and start playing, with increasing the risk of someone getting hurt, and making sure the kids stayed together.
And to kind of almost be a parent away from home. So I tried to show them a good work ethic. I tried to be uplifting. I tried to encourage them.
Keep the kids enthusiastic about what was going on, and just to be a listening ear if they ever needed it.
I felt like I was an influence to the youth as a mentor, as a father figure, as someone that could listen to them, someone that bore their testimony, because I did many, many times.
Mainly what I wanted the kids to know is that I loved them, I cared for them, and that I loved the people of Bolivia and the gospel.
This HEFY trip has literally changed my life forever. It helped connect me to my daughter and helped me to expose her to a different part of the world and people, and we were able to connect and share great stories that we'll have forever.
The expedition was monumental in my relationship with my daughter. We had an awesome relationship before we left, but it was cemented. Spending 3 weeks together, building a school in Peru, helping influence a community that needed our help.
I was lucky I got to go on the Bolivia trip. That's where I had served my mission 30 years before. So I already had a deep love for the people there, and I think that was one of the most rewarding parts of it, was that I got to share that love with the youth, and the youth got to create that on their own.
My testimony was strengthened from the youth in the ward and the other adults that were over there. I met this amazing couple and their beautiful little 4-month-old baby girl. And the minute I met them, I just had such a kinship to them. She spoke no English and I spoke no Spanish, and I would just sit with her on the bench when the kids were playing their games on youth night. You could feel the love between the both of us. It was amazing. Just to know that Heavenly Father's children are all over the country, over the world, and even though we don't speak the same language, we are united through the gospel of Jesus Christ.
It was amazing. It was a spiritual experience. It was a hard physical experience. And it was definitely something that I look forward to doing again.